You are the decider of your fate. You are the one who decides what your version of extraordinary looks like. And if you are looking out to your world right now and it doesn't look extraordinary, you have created that reality and you can choose to create a new one now. You get to decide. That is the gift we have been given as human beings, is our own free will, our ability to choose. It is our superpower. And so you get to decide if you're going to experience $10,000 months. You get to decide if you're going to experience an extraordinary business. It's not your job to know how you're going to do it. It's just your job to choose it. So in this episode, I talk all about enjoying the journey, the choice, the power that you have available to you, and how you can unlock some of that along the way. I'll see you in the episode. When it comes to building your business, your successful business that is filled with income and impact, there's some things that need to be committed to. There's going to be some things that you have to do. Now, it's really important to be aware that you're not going to have to do all the things. I am very aware that in this online space, there is so much noise that you need to have all this stuff and that you need to make sure you're podcasting and Facebook grouping and making sure that you've got all these fancy funnels and all this stuff, and you got to build a website, and it's all bullshit. You don't actually need a lot of that stuff, including a website. But there are some things that you're going to have to do. And you must be committed to doing it. Commitment comes from the inside out. Commitment is about a decision that you've made that you can feel in every cell of your body, that you are willing to do hard things, that you're willing to do what it takes. What do I mean by that? Say, for example, you want to go out and attract new clients. That's going to require you to do things like research who your client is, know your client better than they know themselves, know what keeps your client up at night, know what solution you provide, and then how to articulate that. Well, none of us were born with the ability to write great copy. None of us were born with the skill of copywriting, of really attracting and using language that pulls people in, that attracts people in that way. So there may be things that you need to learn around creating content. Maybe you need to learn things around using social media. Maybe you've never really understood how Facebook works and you're trying to figure that out. There are things you're going to have to learn that sometimes feel uncomfortable. Maybe you've got to do a Facebook Live and you've never spoken publicly before. Maybe you have no idea how to push the go live button. Or maybe the idea of going live is so terrifying to you that it holds you back from everything that you desire. And you can do hard things. You learned how to potentially ride a bicycle. You learned how to talk. You learned how to walk, potentially. There's a lot of things you've learned in your lifetime that weren't easy in the beginning. But here's the thing, when we hit this adulthood thing, we start worrying about what people think of us, and we worry that we're going to fail, and we worry that we're going to fall down and look stupid, and that people are going to judge us and laugh at us. And all we can do is pretend that we are children again and go for it. If you've ever watched a child learn a new skill, it's fascinating. There is none of this worry about people judging them. They just go for it. They're willing to do what it takes because they're more concerned with learning the new skill than what other people think of them. And this is where that level of commitment needs to be with your business, because you are always going to have resistance in your business. You are always going to have fears rise up. You are always going to have resistance to doing certain things. But it's how you choose to navigate that resistance through your commitment that changes the game. Because when you give in to resistance, as in you procrastinate, you move things off to the next day, you don't do it at all, you would rather go play than actually sit down and do the work, all of that, when you give in to resistance, you are giving up on your dream. Commitment is an inside job. Safety and security and stability is an inside job. And your job is to focus in on why you're doing what you're doing, why it's so important that you want this business to take off, why it's so important for you to create 10K months and beyond, why it's so crucial for you to create the impact that you desire. Hold on to that why. That creates the commitment. And then resistance doesn't stand a chance. There are some hard things that we need to do as we build an online business. There are things that we must commit to. We must learn new skills. There's a lot of moving pieces. It is this complex ecosystem that we're creating when we're building an online business. It's not just about posting to social media every day. It's not just about attracting new clients. It's not just about meditating every day and hoping for the best. There's a lot of moving pieces to it. And with that comes a to-do list of about 52 million things. And 90% of the time, what I have discovered from my own personal experience of building a six-figure business is that a lot of those things that go on that to-do list never actually need to get done. Now, I am a recovering control addict, fully aware of how much I get done. If you look at any of my profiles or any of my social media, you can see that I create a lot of content. I am very visible, and there's a lot of things that I'm doing and running 5-day challenges and building out 21-day wealth challenges and all sorts of fun stuff. And my to-do list isn't that long. Why? Because I've learned to trust the process. I have learned to see and look for and expect magic to happen. I have learned to witness things just falling into place. And I have learned to break free from this desire to control everything. Now, not always easy, definitely easier said than done. But what happens when we think we need to have all of our ducks in a row is that we never get our ducks in a row, and then nothing ever happens. I've worked with clients before where they were waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for all of their program to be developed, waiting for the sales process to be put together, waiting for all the checklists to be put together, and just holding themselves back from just going out and making a sale. Or waiting for the perfect graphic, waiting for my photo shoot, or waiting for the inspiration to come. And in all that waiting, you're going to be waiting for a very long time because you need to take action. You don't need to play by the structure and the rules, and you don't need to do it like you're stuck in a box. You don't need to do it the way everybody else does. But what you do need to do is do something. Here's the thing with waiting for all your ducks to be in a row, waiting for all of the pieces to come into place and controlling it all, is that you never reach your dream. What happens with ducks is that you try to get them herded into one place where they're all in a row, but there's a duck up on the roof, there's a duck in the back of the cop car, and there's a duck frolicking out in the meadow, and you never actually get there. There is no such thing as the perfect conditions. It's like saying, well, I'll be happy when I make $10,000 a month. No, be happy now, and then you will make $10,000 a month. We get the order mixed up. Because instead of enjoying the process and expecting miracles and expecting people to show up and support and help, expecting clients to show up just resonating with what you're saying, we've got our head down and our blinders on, we're afraid. And instead of allowing the universe to support us and be in co-creation with the universe, we're trying to control everything. We're trying to control, well, I need to make sure that I've got this many sales calls booked, and I've got to make sure that I've got all of the pieces for this challenge mapped out, and I've got to make sure that I get every single piece of content out, and there's all these moving pieces, and yet you're so stuck in front of your computer trying to get it all sorted out that you've completely missed your intuitive hit that said, go for a walk and go and meet this person at the coffee shop, because you were too busy trying to control all the pieces. There is a moment where we must release control. Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces. Yeah, the to-do list is 52 million things long. And what if I could just go for a walk right now? What if I could just go hang out in my garden and meditate right now? What if I didn't have to have it all figured out? What if I didn't need to know all of the hows? And what if I could just enjoy the damn journey? Because the impact comes when you are grateful and loving life and blissed out. The impact comes when you're not trying to control everything. And so we must release control and let the universe work on our behalf. Because I promise you, 80% of the stuff that's on your to-do list will either work itself out, doesn't need to get done, or someone else will probably do it for you. So let go of the control, enjoy the journey. You get to choose to experience the bliss in every moment, no matter what is occurring in your world, whether your bank account is empty or full, whether your client roster is empty or full, whether your significant other loves you or not. You always have a choice in how you experience what's going on in your world. You have a choice whether or not you love your bookkeeping or you don't. You have a choice as to whether or not you love posting content every day or you don't. You have a choice in if you make $10,000 a month or you don't. Everything is about choosing to live with bliss and gratitude in your heart. You didn't get into this gig to learn marketing and sales. You didn't get into this gig to learn how to promote yourself or learn how to say the right words and learn how to have sales conversations. You didn't get into this gig to learn how to build a website or any of that stuff. You got into this gig to help people and make the world a better place and make some money doing it. So remember that. Because that right there is where the bliss comes from. If you're constantly looking to the horizon, wondering when will the income arrive? When will I have as many clients as I want? When will I experience this bliss that I'm looking for? Choose your bliss right here, right now. You get to pump happy hormones into your body at any given moment. How do I know this? First of all, I teach it in my coaching program. But second, all I need to do is tell you right now to close your eyes, unless you're driving, don't do that. If you're not driving, close your eyes and bring your awareness to your heart. Just think about your heart space, maybe put your hand on your heart and bring into your memory the last time you were really happy. Does something come to mind? Does imagery come to mind? Do you remember a memory? Does your heart flutter a little bit? Did you all of a sudden find yourself smiling? Your brain doesn't know the difference between actually experiencing something and visualizing something. And you get to choose in any given moment whether or not you're going to love something and find the joy in it or not. So I know most coaches didn't get into this gig to learn how to do bookkeeping either. And it is definitely something that can be outsourced, but I highly recommend that every coach learn how to do their own bookkeeping, because what if it was fun? What if it was magical? What if sitting down for an hour a week to go through all of your receipts and all of the money that you've been playing with was fun? What if you got to do your taxes instead of you have to do your taxes? Now, I know that that can seem a little bit like, Cindy, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but give it a shot. Or the next time you're doing the dishes and you're frustrated because you got to do the dishes again, what if you could bring some joy into doing the dishes? What if you could bring a little magic into getting the laundry done? Right? All these chores that we need to do can all be fun because they're all part of the process. They're all part of the journey, and all of it belongs. And so what if we could love every single step of the way?